Your favorite influencer trains hard and has the physique that you want, but copying their workouts might be the exact reason that you're not growing. Not all influencers' programs are terrible. In fact, they're very clearly effective for them. They're just not made for people like us. They train for a living, they recover like pros, they build their entire day around going to the gym. You and I, we don't have that luxury. Us normal people need to work training into our workday, not the other way around. Yes, the way that they look, the physique you want, it may be inspiring, but following your inspirations program exactly might be the thing holding you back. You're not going to get their exact results no matter how perfectly you follow their programs. The fact of the matter is, between you and the influencers on YouTube, there is a recovery gap, a lifestyle gap, and certainly a genetics gap. But before we get into that, let's take a look at an example of what your everyday might look like. If you're like me, your daily schedule might look like this. Around 4 a.m., you have to wake up in the morning. By 6 a.m., you have to get your butt to work. All the way later at 5 p.m., you finally get home. 6 p.m., after being awake for 14 whole hours, you get a chance to work out. By 8 p.m., you gotta hurry up, get some dinner. And if you're lucky, by 9 p.m., you can get some sleep. This type of schedule is pretty familiar for a ton of people out there trying to train. Problem is, if you notice, there's not much time left for sleep, 7 hours if you're lucky. There's very little time for physical rest, and on top of that, your training comes way later in your day. Now let's take a look at an influencer's day. For example, at 8 a.m., they might wake up in the morning. 10 a.m. rolls around, they might enter some emails or some DMs, touch base with some clients, and maybe just set up an itinerary for their day. Maybe by noon, in the prime energy hours of the day, they get to train. By 3 p.m., maybe they get some free time. They can use this to catch up on content or work, or just use it to relax. By 7 p.m., maybe just buckle down and do some script or outline writing and just come up with future content ideas. And then by 11 p.m., they might settle down and get to bed. Now, my goal isn't to make their life look like sunshine and rainbows. I know that a lot of influencers put in some serious work. But the difference here is obvious. They can easily get 8 to 10 hours of sleep in a day. They don't have a lot of physical stressors in their day-to-day. And one of the most important things is that unlike you, they get to train in the middle of the day in their prime energy hours and give it all that they've got. Now, obviously, we wish we could all have a schedule like that, but that's not the real world. And those gaps that I mentioned earlier, those are the things that are holding you back from reaping the same reward that they do. So let's take a closer look at that. Recovery gap. They can handle extremely high volumes compared to you, talking 20 plus sets per muscle group. And the reason being is that they have a lot less physical stressors in their life. They're not working a physical job or an active job. On top of that, when it comes to the recovery gap, they have a lot greater chance at getting adequate sleep just because of the way their schedule is oriented. That is a huge difference in recovery between your life and their life. Lastly, nobody likes to talk about this, but there is a lot of PED use. Yes, steroids. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that admit that they are using performance-enhancing drugs, but there are also quite a lot that probably are not admitting it. I mean, even when you go to your local gym, there are people there that are using performance-enhancing drugs, and they're not even influencers. So you can imagine what some influencers might do when their body image is their marketing. Now, I'm not calling anybody out necessarily, but you just need to be aware that certain physiques that you see online are the result of performance-enhancing drugs. And there is definitely a recovery gap there. You, as a natural bodybuilder, are not going to be able to recover and grow muscle as well as somebody who is using steroids. Moving on, let's talk about the lifestyle gap. Now, they have extreme flexibility of schedule. They're basically their own boss. They set their schedule. They make their schedule. That's not how your life works. And what that means is less missed workouts, less missed meals, and things like that. Another thing is that there are just, quite honestly, not as much mental pressures as there is in a normal workplace. Your passion is fitness and training. Their passion is fitness and training, except the difference is you spend the majority of your day working in something other than fitness and training. Meanwhile, their life revolves around it. If your lifestyle was centered around fitness and training, it would be a lot easier for you to train and recover and grow as well. Lastly, a huge difference between you and the people that you're watching online is genetics. I know people on YouTube always talk about the genetic differences between people and how that looks when it comes to training outcomes. But honestly, it cannot be expressed enough how big of a deal this is. Especially because YouTube is promoting the people with elite genetics, the people with the best genetics that look the best. Now, I'm not blaming YouTube for this, but that's just the way that it is. Those are the people that get clicks. That's what works best for YouTube. And because of that, people are always seeing these elite genetics and they want to follow their training programs expecting to get the same results. But unlike a lot of other things in life, fitness is not 1 + 1 = 2. There are innumerable genetic variables when it comes to muscle building. So following somebody else's program exactly is not ever going to get you to look like that individual. There are so many factors outside of your control. So with that, make sure that you are comparing yourself to yourself. But just because they look great doesn't mean that their advice and their programming is without flaw. If it was as easy as following their program, everybody would be jacked. So now that we've gone over those differences, let's take a look at a smarter approach for you. You need to train for your life and not theirs. Your volume and frequency should be determined by your ability to recover. Learn about your body, pay attention to how it feels throughout the work week and throughout your training to make adjustments. What you need to do is prioritize what program fits your life, what program you can actually do with consistency. And then once you find that, focus on the muscle building pillars, progressive overload, your diet, and recovery. And if you can honestly say to yourself that those 3 things are in check as good as they could possibly be for your life, then I bet you are growing as fast as you can. So what that means is monitor your effort. Don't keep looking in the mirror, comparing yourself to somebody else's physique. Be honest with yourself. Are you chasing progressive overload properly? Is your diet in check? And are you getting the maximum recovery that you can given your schedule? What you should be doing is monitoring your effort more than anything else. If it's in check, you're doing all that you can do. And lastly, for a smarter approach, you need to structure your training and your life around your job. No, you're not structuring around your job because it's optimal for training, but guess what? You don't have that option. So follow what fits, train really hard when you are training, but also make sure that you are recovering properly. Train for the person that you are right now, for the life that you're living right now. And maybe you might just start to see some results. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for sticking to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to stick to a regular upload schedule, but like you guys, I'm not an influencer, so I actually have to structure this around my job. But with that said, that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.